Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
When the hunt matters, trust the gear that's built to perform. At Scree Gear, we design premium hunting apparel that keeps you comfortable, concealed, and ready for whatever the mountain throws your way. From early season spot and stalk hunts to late season extremes, Scree Gear is trusted by hunters who refuse to compromise. And if you want to sharpen your skills and follow real hunting adventures, watch Scree TV on Waypoint TV. Visit ScreeGear.com to gear up today. Then catch Scree TV on Waypoint TV and experience the hunt like never before.
All right, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast. Kevin and Chuck. Today we're going to talk about the home garden.
All right.
Not the sexy topic, but I think definitely if you're going to be a prepper, you're going to take things seriously, you got to have a freaking garden.
Right.
Because nothing says prepared like stuff growing in your backyard. Now, what are some of the reasons, Kevin, that somebody might want to plant a garden in the backyard? What are you thinking? What comes to mind?
Well, I mean, you got to be ready with something to eat, right? I mean, you don't want the world to come to an end and you're eating zucchinis for 6 months.
Sometimes I'm out in the yard and I just freaking want to grab an apple off a tree.
Right.
And then I'm king.
Uh-huh.
Or walk over and pull a carrot out all covered with dirt and just go to town. You never know.
Well, when there's definitely a lot of things that can happen there that can leave you kind of stranded and relying on your garden, you know? I mean, what does a grocery store have? Maybe 3 days worth of food.
That's what I've heard. 3 days.
If nobody's panicking and trying to grab everything.
Now, obviously, I have lots of horrible, bad things downstairs in the cupboard or whatever. You know, some mac and cheese or whatever. I could probably chew on that for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I have some freeze-dried food that might last me 25 years. But aside of that, fresh food.
You know what I've got stored up, and I'm just realizing it's a terrible idea. I've got a couple of crates of MREs.
Right.
And I remember being in the Navy, eating them.
And you didn't like MREs.
Well, yeah, but then I just ate one recently. Oh, so much worse than I remember. They're terrible. They're terrible.
Oh, that's bad. So, all right. So the grocery stores might run out of food. If what would cause that? So
well, I mean, right now the fuel prices are great. You know, that's pretty impressive, but that doesn't mean it's not gonna end up being $18 a gallon in 5 years.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, and so groceries could go up, just get more expensive, and having that garden.
Right.
You know what they used to call the Victory Garden back in the day, and I like it. EMP attack, growing your own food. Now, one of the things I experienced when I went to do a garden is first year I didn't get nearly what I thought I would.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
there are so many lessons you learn and mistakes and different things you go through that honestly, it's something you want to start before you need to start.
Right.
So it's cool to buy the survival seed vault and have that sitting on the shelf and be like, well, if shit hits the fan, I'm going to freaking go plant.
But the first year of the garden, that doesn't happen. It
didn't happen for me. I mean, maybe I don't have the green thumb that I should, but I'm getting, better every year. But I assume you don't just start out with everything going great.
Right.
You there's a lot of setup and a lot of prep work goes into it.
Right. There's a lot of animals that are looking for a free lunch, and that was my main problem.
I definitely give away a lot of free lunches. All I know is the birds eat pretty freaking well over at my house. And I don't have pet birds. They also like to live in my dryer vent and seem pretty content there, too.
That seems like a nice warm area to hang out.
Yeah, it's pleasant.
Yep.
And I'm running over, turning on the dryer all the time. I watch them fly all out. It doesn't matter. I can go up there, pull out the nest, throw it on the ground. 2 days later, they're right back.
Yeah.
But, all right. So what do you look for when you're going to, pick out a place to plant your garden?
Well, I mean, obviously, the main thing is sunlight and access to water, right? You know, those are the two things that you really need to get a plant growing.
All right. Now, I know we mentioned in another episode about the hidden garden, and it's kind of cool to have stuff growing all over your yard and plants that work together and in the tree line. I love that. I think that's great. But again, we kind of need to do some volume too. If you're really going to feed your family, you need to get some food out there. Now, if you take that hidden garden seriously, go through it. That guy was pulling out like 5-gallon buckets of freaking food, he said, on the daily.
Yeah.
So that gets pretty crazy. I like it.
During prime time of the year, that's really, not crazy. I can do about that much. Yeah.
But
there's a lot of time.
But what we're talking about today is a big standard garden like people think of. So one of the things I came across was, one, you want to find a place, like you said, sunlight, access to water. For me, I wanted to be able to put a fence around it, and half my yard is rock, and I had to find a place I could freaking dig holes to just put a fence in.
Down, right?
It's not easy to, and you have to think about that kind of thing. The other problem that I ran into is when you pull into the yard, do you want it to be the first thing people see? Do you want to know your business? And 2, it can be an eyesore. Now, the longer I do this, I have different projects going on, and I'm more at peace with things being a little disheveled in the yard. I'm more at peace with, you see my tools and crap all out over there. You see this because I got projects going. Right. And, I don't mind a pile of boards for 2-3 weeks laying there because, I only get a chance to work on the weekends. And it is what it is. If you don't like it, go to your own damn house. But that said, decide what's important to you and then, pick your place according. Right. The other thing I noticed is I wanted to be able to expand. When I put in the garden, I know this year I actually added, I think it was, it was 32 by 12, so something like 480 or something square feet. I added a lot, of expansion because every year I want to go bigger and do more, and I'm able to manage it more because now I kind of know what I'm doing. What?
Yeah, well, I mean, a garden doesn't take that much. Once you get it moving, it doesn't take that much work. You have to plant it, and you have to weed it. So if you can get your kid out there and pulling weeds, that's the real trick, isn't it?
Getting your kid out there to pull some weeds.
Yeah. But I mean, if you can get it started, get it running, then you can really produce a lot just on spending a couple hours after work every day.
Like that. Now, when I set up my garden, like I said, I have a lot of rock in my yard. I ended up having to build a raised beds.
Right.
And so
a lot of people
bring in my own dirt. Yeah, it's pretty common. And that way you can kind of control it a little bit. Now, my wife was worried. I don't want to put hazardous chemicals and pressure treated wood. And they read things about how it used to be arsenic in yesteryear, and and now it's supposedly, actually I've heard salt water, but I know when you do the research they say, if you have treated wood for your beds, it's going to be it can't be organic by definition, and different things. There's copper and some other crap in there. I don't really know if that's a problem and if it matters.
I honestly spend a lot of time making sure that my garden's pretty organic. I don't use pesticides. I try and use cedar when I can, but you really just can't. Nobody can really afford to build and maintain a garden completely organically.
No.
You do the best you can.
Well, and even if you follow the rules, what if it's 10 feet, 20 feet from your house? Yeah, all the asphalt and your shingles when it rains, does that not matter?
Right.
You move it away from your house. Is it by your leach field? Does that matter? It's you get what you get.
Yeah, you can't be 100% organic.
You gotta do
at least as organic as I'd like to be.
What if it's it's 20 feet off my back deck and my back deck is pressure treated wood? All that runoff is just ending up there. Yeah. What if I throw mothballs, which cause cancer in California, it turns out?
Just in California.
And you know what? I read the article. It said, because I'm like, how does it cause cancer? That doesn't even make sense. So I look at the article, and they said they decided that they smell so bad that they must cause cancer. Because nobody would even want to be around that. But it says
it's known in the state of California that it causes cancer. They know.
They know, because if something smells like that, how does it not cause cancer? But you know what I'm saying.
Apparently my ass has been killing people for years.
But anyway, so the next thing, you got your raised beds. You decide the right type of wood. Maybe you don't have raised beds. You have room to till or do whatever you're going to do. Then you need a proper fence. You mentioned critters can be a
I had some problems
obstacle.
with woodchucks.
Oh, I hate woodchucks.
They're not a problem now.
They were my nemesis last year, I got to tell you.
Yeah. No, I warned all my neighbors if they hear a shotgun going off not to call the police because it's just me shooting woodchucks. But I haven't. Last year and this year, I haven't had any problems. I've had the dogs running them down and chewing them up.
I like the dogs on top of it. Mm-hmm. I've had a bunch of things. I know one year. We started out, we planted it. It was funny, my whole yard, when I bought it, just had strawberries growing all through the grass, all mixed in everywhere. And I kind of figured out when I didn't cut the lawn one time what was going on, and I'm like, what the hell? I dug them all up and put, about 20, 30 strawberry plants, started them growing, grew all these beautiful strawberries. And sure enough, in one day, all the birds come in and freaking ate all of them.
Yeah, it seems like they know. They're watching for it to be
ripeness,
ripe. Because if you go out there and say, I'm going to get this strawberry tomorrow, and come back the next day, it's gone.
My blueberry bushes,
that early bird is...
Same thing.
He's killing it.
Yeah, he's on it. My blueberry bushes, same thing. The birds. So, they have netting I put on my blueberry bushes. It doesn't work great, but it helps. And then actually with my strawberries, I ended up making a big chicken wire box that was the same size as my raised bed. Mm-hmm. And I set it right on top, and that keeps the birds out. But same thing. So I made a split rail fence around the garden, and I put chicken wire all around it. And I thought, oh, you know what? I'm so smart. I'm going to dig a foot trench all around the garden. I'm going to put the chicken wire down a foot so no freaking rabbits are, coming up underneath it.
Right.
And to hell with them, right? And that sounds cool, especially when your yard is all rock and there's no digging underneath it, And so I put it all up, and I'm king of the world. Good for about 2 years. Then it turns out what started happening is the galvanized or whatever the hell the chicken wire is. Maybe you're correcting me now. I know it's not supposed to rust.
Right.
Turns out it all rusts, and that's okay on its own. However, when you go through with the weed whacker, that rusty chicken wire
destroys it, huh?
Doesn't hold up like you might think.
Okay.
And so I have this line along the bottom. And you can go in every 5 feet, you see it all pulled up and rabbit trails in and out. And then I started putting snares.
Yeah. Did any of them work yet?
Anything. That sounds like a criminal
that sounds
offense.
Against the law.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm just saying that might be something you might do. I don't know.
I know I've had some issues with the woodchuck. I built the fence. And I specifically didn't leave a top bar.
Yes. Because
a woodchuck will climb.
Okay.
And if it's got a top bar to grab onto, it'll just swing itself over. But if it's wobbly on the top, they won't climb over it. They won't feel comfortable doing it. I thought I was good. And then he started going over the gate. I didn't even think about. Of course, the gate's gonna have to have a top rail.
Solid top. Yep.
Yeah.
Nah, so, it's always something.
I built a log wrapped in barbed wire, and I just leaned that up right there. It looks very
appealing.
Very ghetto, but
nice.
It keeps them out.
All right, I can work with that. So then we have. Then after I got all that worked out, now I had read that if you have raised beds and a lot of uneven surfaces, deer won't jump the fence to come in because they have
and yours is built on the edge of a steep hill, right?
Steep hill. They have freaking, their eyes on the side of the head, something about depth perception, right? Yeah. And jumping, they're not supposed to like it. But sure enough, about 3 years into the garden, I go out one morning, freaking, he's standing in the middle of a freaking, 4x4 box, just chowing down. I'm like, what the hell? So, needless to say, my probably 4-foot high fence now has 8-foot high posts in all the corners, and I'm going to be running barbed wire all the way around for, a couple rows. And I've read that deer can jump 8-foot fences and whatever, but that's how high I'm going, and we're going to see where this takes us. The next step will be, they say if you put a bunch of punji sticks in the ground there, that'll deter them because they don't want to get impaled.
Yeah, that sounds like,
But now I don't want to. I got barbed wire.
Yeah, whatever. You have to jump the fence. Yeah, it sounds like a goddamn concentration camp.
So, it's not really the
But I mean, it's like you have a couple of hours at the end of your day to figure out how to keep the animals out. They got all day to figure out how to get in.
That's my chickens trying to escape all day. Just freaking digging, and then I come in and throw a log in the hole they dug, and they're like, oh, but they try again tomorrow, and they just keep going. And, and then, after that doesn't work with the barbed wire and the death sticks there, then I think we're going to move on to me out in a ghillie suit and sniper rifle or something.
Set up some shotgun traps.
It's not going to be good. But, all right, so moving along, and then how about bugs? Same thing. Bugs are another problem.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of, I've been talking to people, because I didn't have too many bugs last year. Just out of luck. But I did have some Japanese beetles get in my beans.
There's not much you can do about them.
Yeah, well, there are Japanese beetle traps. I don't know anything about it. I'm going to look at them.
Do you know that Japanese beetles are grubs?
I didn't know that, no.
So if you get rid of the grubs, you get rid of the Japanese beetles. Now, I thought I was cool because turns out a big section of my lawn is all brown and nasty. And I'm like, oh, it's grubs, because I dig up and I can see them, right? Yeah. And I talk to people, and that's what they tell me. And then it turns out that could solve my whole grub or Japanese beetles eating my cherry trees left and right.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is a win-win. Well, how do I get rid of the grubs? So there's things called nematodes. And I don't know, they're disgusting. You buy some little plastic ball they send you in the mail. You keep it in your refrigerator, and they're like, if it smells like fish, maybe it's gone bad, or maybe it's supposed to smell like fish. I'm not sure. But at any rate, you're supposed to take these out and plant them in your yard. Problem is, this is like where my little apple orchard, and I have apple trees, pear trees, and cherry trees. Everything's all in this section. Well, the deer were kicking my ass with that, eating them like crazy. So what I did was I went and I put garlic all around the trees. Garlic works great. Stopped all the deer. It's the easiest thing to freaking plant. It grows like crazy. After you plant it the first time, pretty much you don't end up digging up all of them.
Right.
And they kind of come back on their own, and it's awesome. And I love garlic, and it's great. Problem is, nematodes eat garlic and destroy it, and then it all rots and is bad. So I have a brown lawn with grubs in it, and I'm just dealing with it. So I'm like, whatever. I'm not doing the nematodes. Yeah. But of course, I spent $25 on the nematodes before I found out they ate the garlic.
Right.
Because,
that's how it works.
That's how it works.
You lost all your garlic.
So... Next thing, you want to find things that you can plant in your garden that might help. If you're not the chemical guy, and if you are, more power to you, do what you want. Mm-hmm. You want to put that kind of thing in your garden.
Well, I did.
Okay, you do what you gotta.
Yeah, I do a lot of planting.
Okay.
For specifically plants that try and keep the insects out.
All right.
That works kind of. You still have to keep an eye on things.
Yes.
But I do. Marigolds are supposed to be good for
my wife
the deer.
Did marigolds last year, and that really helped. And they're supposed to be good with mosquitoes as well, I believe.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And so we did that. Putting garlic inside the garden also is something we're doing this year.
Yeah, I do. Another one that's good is catnip.
Yeah.
The only problem is that you don't want to be gardening, pulling up weeds and stick your hand in some buried cat poop that you didn't know was there.
That doesn't sound like something I'd be interested in.
Take that with risk. I've got cats, and so I'm careful with that. Basil is good though. Basil. I mean, you can definitely eat basil and use basil for your cooking. It's not a bad thing to have around.
All right. So now we kind of have a plan, and we see what we're gonna do. We're gonna set up the garden. And what are you gonna put in the garden?
Ooh. Yeah, no, I try and vary a lot, but you know what I had a lot of success with last year was eggplants.
Eggplants are nice.
Yeah, they're disgusting. I think they're gross.
A lot of people like them. You know what it is? If you fry anything, it's good.
That's it.
And turns out if you fry eggplant, it's all good.
Yeah. Have you ever eaten raw eggplant?
Oh, that sounds horrible.
It makes me. It tastes.
I just look at it.
It's like styrofoam.
What the hell is that?
No, it's
that's not right.
It's disgusting. It's the texture that really turns me off. But eggplants. I did pretty good on tomatoes. I was giving bags and bags of tomatoes away last year.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot.
I didn't get any at my house. I don't know what happened.
Quite a bit. And I had, I did red peppers.
All right.
Bell peppers.
Yeah.
And some Anaheim peppers. They were pretty good.
I do very well with peppers in my yard. But yeah.
I try and vary it a lot, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have 8 separate beds.
All right.
And, another thing with the pest, though, is... along with the fence, I have an outer ring of cedar mulch.
That helps.
And crawling bugs. They don't like to crawl across that desert of cedar. They just don't like the smell of it. So I don't have problems with ants and things like that climb in there. Kind of going off on a side note there, backtracking, but it's definitely been helpful there.
Definitely the useful stuff as it comes up,
Yeah.
I never have it all fresh in my mind.
So have you started planting anything?
So we planted quite a bit.
Yeah.
Turns out it's spring and we're doing our early planting in the house, but outside the wife planted broccoli, cauliflower, and broccoli and cauliflower.
Well, that's exactly what I've got planted so far. Broccoli and cauliflower.
I think she has one or two.
They're good.
More
they're good cold weather to start the early.
It was weird. I think you can do. It was either kale or something else, but then not some kind of other lettuce that seems like the same thing. I was like, yeah. But you got to look at the charts and the books, and I can't help you there.
And it's sometimes I
know we've already started tomatoes. We've already inside, and we're growing them. We start those up here pretty early, inside.
Yeah.
Started pumpkins.
Are you doing? I did pumpkins last year and didn't have a lot of success, but the more I read about it after I planted them, the more I learned why. What mistakes I made.
Things like you need the heating mats and the things that are crazy. My wife just planted something and she was like, "Oh, the seeds didn't come up. I'm kind of annoyed. It's been a week, whatever." And then she went back to the package, and it was like, "Oh, you need to keep it at 80 degrees, the dirt, for it to start." Mm-hmm. And so we weren't doing that. Mm-hmm. So she. And it's funny because we've already bought the heating mats and been down this road. She does it with other things. It was just that one slipped by or whatever. So when it comes to planning, the way I think everybody should try and approach it is decide what's your family eating.
Right.
You know, I mean, there are a lot of staples and things you should do, but think of what you're really going to eat. I can talk. Think about what, you know, I mean, if you guys can eat a lot of beans and you like that, that's cool. Do it. If you're going to eat a lot of peas, do it. You know, that's great. Strawberries, you know, what kind of fruits and things do you like? You know, obviously you have to consider what's going to grow in your area, but also think about what you're going to really consume and how much are you going to really consume. You know, I mean, do you need 1 billion tomatoes? You said you were, you know, giving them away.
Yeah, it was way too
maybe
much.
You're jarring them and you're doing different things. That's different. But, you know, plan accordingly. Plant the things you like, and that makes it fun, too.
Right.
When you're, I mean, I know we're big on, you know, salsas, chilies, and, you know, all kinds of things with hot peppers. We do a ton of peppers, and I was going to say earlier, you know, our garden, the peppers just grow up. They're great. You know, we never have a problem planting peppers. We never have a problem with garlic. And we love those things. We use them all the time. We end up going through all of it. We do a lot of cucumbers just because I like making pickles.
Yeah.
And, you know, they end up tasting pretty good. We do just the standard, you know, whatever the company that does the Canon stuff. They have the...
Like a standard.
The little kit you see at the grocery store.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I don't even know who it is. Whoever makes the jars or whatever. But, so anyway, the pickles are awesome and very, you know, like you expect and like you'd think you'd want it to be.
Right.
You know, like you go to the German deli and it's like that. You're just like, oh, that's just good, you know? And it's funny, you go to like these fairs and different things and they're selling the pickles for like $8. And I'm like, that tastes exactly like what we make.
But it says on the label, artesian pickles. That's what makes it different.
That's the key?
Yeah. Now, I was talking to my video gaming daughter today.
Yes.
And she was concerned that we were doing a prepping podcast.
All right.
And we weren't worried about zombies in our garden. Because apparently there's a video game called Plants vs. Zombies.
Really?
And I asked her, I said, should I be concerned about finding the specific plants that attack the zombies? And she's like, well, now you're just being ridiculous.
And yet it's called Plants vs. Zombies.
Right.
All right.
So, apparently I don't know if there are plants that actually attack zombies. There's a video game that says there is. I don't know what the names of those plants are, but...
But if you tried to get them, you'd be ridiculous.
Right. If zombies showing up trying to steal your cucumbers, that might happen, apparently. But...
Yeah, I thought they
don't go too far.
They were flesh-eating something.
Brains, but
I don't know,
whatever.
brains, whatever. All right, you know, to each his own. But, you know, back to
yeah.
Yes.
Do you do any compost?
No, tell me
I've been
composting.
composting quite a bit, actually. And,
the wife does, and I kind of get in the way of that. You know, we have the chicken manure. My problem is she always wants to compost the chicken manure, and to me, it's mixed with wood chips that are acidic, and I'm like, that's just hurting things.
Well, you have to mix it up quite a bit. You have to what I do is I collect. I've got two compost bins right next to each other.
All right.
I made them out of pallets. They're, you know, the chicken wire on the inside to keep all the good stuff, you know, from falling out the edges. And I did raked up all my leaves last year.
I notice there's always coffee grounds on my counters. That's somehow part of
coffee
this.
grounds, excellent.
All right.
Now, but that's, I mean, you want brown and green
all right.
Mixed together. You want to keep it moist.
Okay.
So what I do is I use the leaves, and then I used all my cuttings from inside the house. That would be coffee grounds,
all right.
Trimming any vegetables.
All right.
Banana peels are great for it. Uh-huh. Coffee grounds. I said eggshells. Eggshells are another great one. So you wanna mix it up. Leaves are great, but they're not gonna just break down on their own. You have to you know, get some fresh stuff in there. Keep it moist and keep turning it over. You don't want layers of, you know, leaves and a layer of grass cuttings, and you want to mix it all up and get it kind of activating.
All right.
You know, I some people can get it down to like 2 months where they can put the stuff in there, and 2 months later they got dirt. I'm not quite that good.
Hey, see, I thought it was a year or two.
No, it's really 18 months. Is okay. if you're gonna load up a compost bin and forget about it,
right,
you're looking at a year and a half to get really good, rich dirt.
Now, I am planning on, back to when I said about you don't want to come into the yard and it be an eyesore. Mm-hmm. I set up a chicken coop pretty much first thing you hit right when you come in the yard. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that isn't exactly appealing in my wife's eyes.
Oh, really?
Turns out.
Well, it sounds like a good idea because I used to, when I was a kid, I used to break into an old junkyard.
All right.
And they had attack chickens.
Ah, the attack chicken trick.
So, I mean, maybe that's a good thing.
So they're moving to the backyard.
Release the chickens.
They're moving to the backyard. And it turns out they have some great dirt that they've been pooping and mixing up for a long time. And I think that's going to,
that's going to go in there, huh?
Move down to the garden, so that's going to be a big plus. But so I was kind of excited about that. Now, so the composting, how would you set it up? You told me what goes in it.
Yeah, well, what I did was what
do you do with it?
I had about 10 pallets.
Okay.
And what I did was I built just 2 square boxes on 3 sides. So it was really about 5 pallets is what I used on the initial box. Okay. I did 2 across the back, and then 1 coming out of the middle and 1 coming out on each end. And then I used the rest of the pallets to build gates on the front so I could open and close them.
All right.
And line the inside with chicken wire.
Yeah.
Just stapled it with a staple gun just to hold keep it from falling out through.
Right.
And I just keep a pitchfork right next to it. And every time I'm out in the yard, I just, give it a turn over.
Turn through it.
And I keep 2 5-gallon buckets next to it. And then, if it rains, then I got the water right there. I'll just pour one in, a couple days after the rain, and then the other one a couple days later. Usually we get enough rain in the Northeast here that I can keep on top of it. I usually have about a half inch of water on each of those 5-gallon buckets and just throw it on top, just to keep it a little bit moist.
Keep it moist, huh?
Yeah.
Now, I know when I used to work with the Poos back in the day. They used to run airlines through it, keep the bugs active,
aerating,
and
a lot of people say
help with composting or no? Is that trouble?
The compost, you want to do that. I do that by turning it over. They say a lot of people say to throw straw and sticks on the bottom when you start,
something lighter,
just to keep it up, keep things up off the ground.
Okay.
But I mean, it's compost is really one of those things that's like set and forget. You don't have to invest your entire life in compost. Get it going, throw your stuff in there, and then use it when you're starting it up. Yeah.
All right.
Composting isn't a full-time job. Just something to keep in the back of your mind.
All right.
If you invest 5 minutes a day, it's too much.
And then we're just ready to throw. Once we get this down to dirt, we just mix it in and
what I did this year, I like to you turn your gardens. You turn up the dirt and mix things down.
It turns out the wife doesn't like when I step in the garden.
No?
No.
No.
Got in a little bit of trouble there. Can you come here and help me?
And then you're a jerk.
Oh, what did you do?
Yeah.
But it turns out she had to get some kind of weird hay fork kind of thing. It's a little fatter, looks a little bit different, and she lifts up the dirt. That somehow helps out a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I just had to buy some kind of
you want to have air
fork
in your dirt. Yeah, you want it aerated. What I did was I dug up each bed.
Okay.
Threw it into the bed next to it.
Yeah.
Dumped a wheelbarrow compost in, then threw the dirt back on top of it and mixed it in.
Okay.
It's a little bit of work, but you got to work for it sometimes. Right. If you want a good healthy base for your plants, you don't want to spend a lot of money on Miracle-Gro.
All right,
make your compost and do the work.
You will concur that every year it gets a little bit better. You get a little bit better yields. Obviously, the weather can kind of change things, but for the most part, you learn how to protect your garden. You learn what will grow.
There's a good 4 months out of the year where, I really don't have to buy any vegetables.
Right.
And that's that's a big plus when it comes to honestly, the bottom line of your budget.
The healthier family, it should help out.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's all in my head and I'm crazy.
Hey, it's important to stay healthy. It's important to stay fit and ready. And your diet is a big part of that. If you're eating McDonald's every day, you're not going to be ready. You got to get your vegetables, got to get your lean meats. Man, do it right. Take care of yourself.
Now, I understand, everybody, this may be not, the action excitement episode. So I do have a treat for you. I heard that Kevin has some breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news right here on the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast.
Basic Badass Podcast. Breaking news. This just in. Chupacabra has been found.
The Chupacabra. Now, you guys, we all know about the Chupacabra. Tell us a little history of the Chupacabra.
Chupacabra, I think Chupacabra started in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico,
is where they first saw it.
That sounds right.
And then maybe the 40s, 50s, something like that. It was an animal that apparently was sucking the blood out of
the goats and chickens.
And goats, yeah. And they've been a lot of hoaxes so far. I'm not fully committed to this one, but I saw the video and it looks pretty...
It looks pretty good? You'll stand on it?
It looks pretty serious. Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to prove to me that it's not real before I'm going to believe it.
All right.
And so we do have a video.
Yep, we're going to try and throw this video up on the website.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll all be able to go to, preppingbadass.com, click through the articles, search for Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. He's out there, man. And did I ever tell you that I heard a Chupacabra in my backyard? I never saw him.
Tell me about this Chupacabra in your backyard.
I was sitting out in the very back of my yard by my fire pit out by the woods one night. And I had crazy neighbors at the time. And they had a crazy 11-year-old girl.
All right.
And I swear to God, just outside of where I could see the fire, where the light would show, I heard this 11-year-old girl just screaming at the top of her lungs. And it just immediately was like a horror movie. I knew and I thought it was the girl, but then obviously that doesn't make any sense. Why would she be out in the woods in the middle? And then it slowly turned into a growl. Oh. I've never heard anything like this. Now I talked to my neighbor.
All right.
He says it's a bobcat mating call. I think that's a load of crap because he didn't hear what I heard. This was something This is something that's straight out of a horror movie. I almost peed my pants. I turned around and looked over at my wife to see what she thought, and all I saw was her ass running into the house.
Nice.
So I went in and got a flashlight, but by the time I got back to the house and back out, there wasn't anything back there.
Nothing back there.
No.
All right, so you saw the Chupacabra.
I saw the video of the Chupacabra.
You saw the video.
Yeah.
All right, now, up till now, what was the thought? When you picture a Chupacabra in your head prior to today...
They say, what, scaly skin.
All right.
Hairless. Fangs, teeth,
yeah,
claws.
I recall fangs. I heard big claws, right?
Check, and check.
I like your confidence.
Yeah, and this was not like a 2-second video of something lurking through
in the
shadow.
Woods.
Yeah.
There goes behind the
close,
shed. No.
In a cage. It's in the cage, ripping the cage apart.
Biting through the wire, right?
Yeah, biting through the wire cage.
That was kind of some thick, I think they call it rabbit wire.
Yeah, and they've got a good, a good long video of this thing in there. Fighting to get out.
It looks pretty good, guys. Yeah. I'm pretty excited. I think you're going to have to check it out. preppingbadass.com. Chupacabra.
Chupacabra, he's here. He's here. He's queer. Get used to it.
Oh, I don't know. It's pretty exciting. I think you guys are going to like it.
Exciting events.
And anything else. So, as always, go to preppingbadass.com. Mm-hmm. Check out the Chupacabra.
Right.
Check us out on Facebook. I did post a link on our Facebook. If you're a regular follower, you might have caught it.
And where can they email us?
And they can email us at preppingbadass@gmail.com.
All right.
And you can also follow us on Twitter at preppingbadass.com.
Oh, are we on Twitter now? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
Oh.
You might check out hashtag preppingbadass.
This whole computer world is just blowing my mind. I can't keep track of it. I can't keep up to date.
We're everywhere.
All right.
So, with that, stay safe. We will see you guys next week. And that's it.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.